I'm Casey Claiborne, and thanks for watching this CrimeWatch YouTube exclusive, where we take a look back at recent crime stories that have been making headlines in our area. The body of 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham has been found in the Trinity River 6 days after she went missing, and a family friend has been charged in her death. The Polk County District Attorney says, based on evidence, Don Stephen McDougal is facing a capital murder charge. McDougal was previously named person of interest. Audrii disappeared on February 15th after McDougal was supposed to drop her off at the bus stop for school. McDougal, who has a long criminal history, was arrested on an unrelated assault charge a day after Audrii vanished, and he's still in jail. We are digging into McDougal's past. Alec Bryan III says McDougal attacked him with a knife in 2010. He says his experience highlights how dangerous McDougal can be.
He got drunk one night, we threw him out of the house, and he come back with a knife and slashed tires and tried to stab me with a knife, and I had to run him off with a gun. And the cops finally come out with dogs and got him. Just the sheer look of him. I know I hate to judge a book by its cover, but that's one book somebody should have judged.
McDougal was convicted of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for that 2010 attack. In 2008, he was convicted of enticement of a child, but was not required to register as a sex offender. He was convicted of aggravated assault again in 2019 for hitting someone in the head with a pipe. Investigators say they're now working to determine the cause of Audrii Cunningham's death. An argument about a workout machine ends in a stabbing at the LA Fitness on West Anderson Lane. Shortly after 11 a.m. on February 16th, several people called 911 saying 69-year-old John Mackinson attacked a man with a knife near the men's locker room. Police found a man stabbed in his glutes, covered in blood. They were taken to the hospital. Police arrested Mackinson. He's charged with aggravated assault and at the Travis County Jail on a $50,000 bond. He has a prior conviction in 2021 for a similar crime. Downtown Austin business owners are frustrated with vandalism and other crimes committed by people living on the streets. Fox 7 Austin's Carissa Limcol has that story.
Inside 607 Congress Avenue, Greg Audrii prepares to open as soon as this week.
We grow our own plants that I bred myself over the several years. We extract our own plants using no chemicals.
As one of the largest producers of hemp-based products in the southern U.S., the location for a brick-and-mortar shop was thoughtfully chosen.
We're so close to the Capitol. We want to be a part of hey, we're here and that scene. We want to educate people in here and show everyone what, hemp or hemp production to us means.
But since moving in this summer, unwelcome residents have repeatedly been at their front doorstep.
That's where they slept. They also used that spot as their toilet, had knives pulled on some of my guys. Our planters, we've had them turned over. We've had the plants pulled out of them.
Their security cameras even captured a murder. And last week, their window was broken out.
Most of the people down here, they just need and want help. But that's what we want too. We need help as business owners.
A business owner who was once homeless himself and still has a heart for those who are.
I just hired a private security force because of the broken window. I'd much rather give that money to Mobile Loaves and Fishes or the DAA, or tell me who to give it to that helps everyone. I want to help this situation. I want to help other store owners. We love downtown Austin. We want to protect that culture. And how do we do that? That's what I'd like to figure out.
Carissa Limcol, Fox 7 Austin News.
We're getting a better understanding of what it was like inside a North Austin hospital at the time a car crashed into the ER. One person was killed and 5 others were hurt. Fox 7 Austin's Rudy Koski spoke with people who were there when it happened and has that part of the story.
This chaotic scene inside St. David's Hospital Tuesday afternoon was recorded by Stephen Hughes.
It's just one of those things that you never expect to happen.
Hughes says he was at the hospital gift shop waiting for his wife to complete a surgical procedure Tuesday. At first, he thought the crash came from below in the lobby, but then realized the crisis was just down the hall in the ER.
But as I get up closer and I kind of pan my head to the right, I could see there was a car buried deep in the ER area.
And you're thinking, a car?
Yeah, I thought it was maybe some medical equipment that maybe had exploded, maybe like an oxygen tank or something like that. I wasn't thinking a car came crashing through.
Smoke filled the room from the car's spinning wheel. The damage to the sedan clearly seen as it was removed by a tow truck. Hughes assumed the driver's foot was still on the accelerator.
I think that's when the severity of the accident really kind of kicked in for me. That and seeing the hospital workers starting to move a person, that took it from looking like a movie to this is real life. This is something horrible that just happened.
It was such an intense experience, and it'll take a while to get the sounds of everyone's screams off my head.
Michelle Cruz was in an examination room with her mother not far from the plywood that's now up at the ER entrance. Cruz described seeing water on the floor from a large aquarium that the vehicle smashed and how the hospital staff reacted to the carnage.
What comforts me is the faces of the nursing staff, literally ready for action, and they just sprung in going. And that, when I think back, I look and see their faces, and I'm okay. We're going to be okay. They'll handle it, and they definitely did 100%.
A hospital nurse in Hughes' video is seen holding a child, taking him to safety. Others search through a pile of debris that included a wheelchair as an injured person is pulled out of the area.
The people that sprung into action are absolute heroes.
The entire staff went running towards the doors saying, "Mass trauma!"
Cruz, who is in the healthcare industry, says she also tried to comfort those who were not hurt.
There was someone that next to me that wanted me to hold their hand for a few minutes, help somebody charge their phone because they were like, "I'm trying to leave. I'm discharged." But just trying to give help where I could.
I never thought I would be part of or see something like that. So yeah, I'm glad more people weren't hurt. I'm glad I wasn't hurt. And yeah.
In North Austin, Rudy Koski, Fox 7 Austin News.
Mexico has deported a man to the U.S. who's accused of a fatal shooting in South Austin. U.S. Marshals say Christian Avila Solis is charged with murder. In May of 2022, Jose Castellanos was shot to death in an L.A. Fitness parking lot near West Slaughter Lane and Menchaca Road. A couple of days later, Austin police got a warrant for Avila Solis, who they believe had escaped to Mexico. The Lone Star Fugitive Task Force got in touch with officials there. They caught him on Saturday and sent him back to the U.S. on an immigration violation because he's a U.S. citizen. In August of 2022, U.S. Marshals arrested John Wiley Bagwell in Colorado. He's another suspect in the shooting, charged with murder. A Williamson County man is facing 99 years in prison for murder. He's accused of selling a pill laced with fentanyl to a man who later died. Fox 7 Austin's CrimeWatch reporter Meredith Aldis has the story.
A sergeant with the undercover unit says they're working to get the dealers of this poison off the streets.
We will find you and we will prosecute you.
Mark Dillard was found and charged with murder and possession of a controlled substance. Court records say he was texting back and forth with a man named Remington Allison. Dillard texted Allison he was at this Motel 6 in North Austin. They met up, and Allison Cash App transferred $180 to Dillard. The confirmation email said, quote, "I give you 25 blues." The next day, Allison was found dead at his house in Leander. The cause? Fentanyl poisoning. Dillard is now facing 99 years in prison. He's the first person in Williamson County to be charged with murder because of an overdose-related death. This comes after Governor Greg Abbott signed a new law allowing prosecutors to do so.
We are hoping it sends a message.
As the number of overdose cases in Williamson County continues to rise, the county reported 35 fentanyl-related deaths last year.
We do have multiple overdoses that are Narcan and then they ultimately live that aren't necessarily even publicized. You know, we obviously are trying to keep the community informed when we do have one causing death, but there's so much more going on behind the scenes.
So they've created a task force to try to combat this issue. The force consists of the Williamson County Sheriff's Office, local police departments, local nonprofits, and even federal agents.
But the task force also allows us to go out of our jurisdiction. That's why it's so wonderful. If there's a dealer, a death takes us to a dealer in Austin or in Burnett, we can still work those cases. It allows us to continue wherever the case takes us.
Williamson County is alerting residents about a data breach. Several thousand people may have had their personal information leaked. Fox 7 Austin's Williamson County reporter Lauren Rangel has more from Georgetown.
3,763. That's how many people the Texas Attorney General's office says may have had their personal information exposed in a Williamson County data breach. The county says that information may include names, addresses, date of birth, social security numbers, driver's licenses, and more.
That type of information can often be used against you for financial fraud, social engineering attacks.
Luke Barnes is a managing partner at Fidelis Risk Advisory.
They know that these organizations are underprotected. It just makes them easy targets.
County officials say an unauthorized account got access to an email in the 277th District Court in November of 2022. Barnes says data breaches like this aren't totally uncommon.
They're increasing, and like I mentioned earlier, because these institutions and organizations have so much personal data, financial data, tax data, attackers will target them.
People impacted should consider freezing credit, informing banking institutions about the breach, alerting insurance providers, and consulting a free online identity theft monitoring service.
Just stay generally alert for suspicious activity with your accounts.
For anyone else in the clear, it's not a bad idea to take a few precautionary steps. Barnes says to be cognizant of the type of information you post on social media. Click only on trusted websites, use complex and unique passwords, enable multi-factor authentication, and regularly update digital devices.
Cyber hygiene is important whether we've been involved in a breach or not.
The county says it will be mailing individuals who may have been impacted by the breach. We'll also be sharing their notice on this story on fox7austin.com. They told us they're not doing interviews about this right now. Meanwhile, the Caldwell County Sheriff's Office says nearly 36 roosters used for cockfighting have been seized. Deputies busted the operation at an address outside of Lockhart. Detectives detained 9 people. 20 vehicles and a trailer were towed away. 35 roosters were taken. No word yet on any suspects. Austin police are looking for a man who they say randomly punched a woman in West Campus earlier this week. Austin police have identified the suspect as 40-year-old Walter Sotillo Jr. Fox 7 Austin's Amanda Ruiz spoke with Safe Horns. It's a local organization who pushes for safety in the area. They tell us the victim is a student at UT.
Police are looking for a man who they say punched a woman for, quote, no apparent reason right outside the University of Texas at Austin campus. It happened in this busy area just short of 2 p.m. last Monday.
A lot of students are in this area all day long and at night.
Police say a witness directed officers to an alley where the suspect was. His name, Walter Sotillo Jr. According to APD, Sotillo told police he was the one who was attacked by 2 men and a woman and did not want to press charges. It wasn't until later when police spoke with the woman who said she was in fact the one attacked by a man she didn't even know. She said he punched her for no apparent reason.
It's frustrating.
Joelle McNew, president of Safe Horns, a local organization that pushes for safety for UT students, told Fox 7 Austin this wasn't just a one-off case either.
One of these students was assaulted by one of the individuals, and then shortly after that, another one was. So there were actually 2 female UT students that were assaulted by the same individual. And APD did a fantastic job of investigating the situation, finding out that it actually was 2 and the same individual. And now we're just going to have to wait for an arrest to be made.
Police say Sotillo is the suspect in this assault causing a bodily injury case. He is 40 years old, about 5'8" and 185 pounds. He was last seen wearing dark-colored clothes and a backpack. McNew says more needs to be done to fix the crime in this area, especially after an assault like this that happened in the middle of the day in an area run by students.
We've definitely seen a lot. We've heard a lot. Over 10,000 students traditionally walk through this corridor twice a day. That has changed because of the crime in the area.
Police in North Texas shot a 16-year-old student who brought a gun to school. Happened at a charter school in Mesquite. An administrator says the student was in an office with a gun and would not pull it down. Fox's Alex Boyer has more.
Woo, it's too much. It's a lot. I'm still holding it in. I think I'm really in shock.
Emotions were running high outside Pioneer Technology and Arts Academy Oates campus in Mesquite Monday morning after police say a student brought a firearm to school. Police say the unidentified 16-year-old was in an office refusing to put the weapon down as school administrators spoke to him, trying to keep him calm. Police say the student was in the office alone when officers arrived.
Officers responded and attempted to negotiate with the subject. During the process of negotiating, an officer-involved shooting occurred.
Police say 3 officers fired at the student, who survived and was taken into custody.
Like, what caught your attention? Loud noises.
Chris Miller was coming out of a store across the street from the school when he heard the commotion. He began taking pictures of the scene and saw the suspect being tended to by Mesquite Fire Rescue.
And then I saw them bring the suspect out in the ambulance. So.
Yeah, what did you think when you saw that and then realized, oh, something went down at the school?
It's crazy because my kids go right down the street to Head Start. It's a private school.
Police say no one else was injured. Soon after, students and teachers began filing out of the school and recounted the scary situation that unfolded inside.
We had to get in a corner and hide and make sure that everything was silent. We come in a single file line and come around the room. And then once we got into the main hallway, we had to get searched, and they told us to come directly to the church.
A reunification site was set up at nearby Living Truth Baptist Church. Parents were eager to hug and comfort their kids.
Got the lockdown, and then I saw it on the news, and it's okay, baby. You did good. You did good, honey. Everything's okay.
Scary. I think we need more precautions for security measures just throughout all of the schools.
Teachers, too, were rattled by what happened, with officers searching the campus as standard procedure after the shooting.
Once they heard the noises and the police come in, that's when they completely lost it. Like, at that moment, they all started bawling really hard. They was like, oh, this is real. It got scary in the classroom because they were freaking out. And again, you as a teacher, you can't freak out because then, it's going to make them scared. I don't think I processed it yet, but yeah.
The student's motive remains unclear. The school says it will review what happened and will consider whether additional security upgrades are needed. The Harris County Sheriff's Office is investigating a shooting after a man was found dead in the front yard of a house. Investigators say a 14-year-old shot who he thought was an intruder breaking into his home. Fox's Jade Fleury has the details.
I'm honestly in shock. I'm honestly in shock. It's I can't, stop shaking.
Ring doorbell footage captures the moment seconds before a man walks up to a family's home and allegedly tries to break in.
I turned on my camera, and for sure there was a man looking in the ditch, had very weird behavior, started walking around the ditch, and then started to walk into the neighbor's property. Aracelia Herrera lives next door to the homeowner. She says she noticed the man acting erratically and notified her neighbor, whose 14-year-old son was home alone. I was like, hey, there's a man that just walked into your property, and he's knocking at your door right now. Watching from her window, she witnessed the shooting unfold. Right as I look back up to the window, the boy opens up the door and shoots the guy. He did one shot, and then there was maybe a 1 or 2 second pause, and did 3 more shots. Herrera says as soon as her neighbor pulled up, the teenager gave his mother the gun. Honestly, you do hear gunshots around here all the time, but to actually see the entire thing and see the guy drop and all of that, it's just a big impact. The Harris County Sheriff's Office is still trying to determine if the alleged intruder was actually trying to break in.
We're still trying to confirm if he had opened the door or unlocked the door, or had just pulling back and forth on the doorknob.
Thanks for watching the Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch YouTube exclusive. Our Crime Watch stories run each Monday on Fox 7 Austin News at 9. If you miss them, you can watch anytime on our new Fox Local Connected TV app. It's free to download, and you can watch on multiple platforms like Roku and Apple TV. Just scroll down from the live player and look for the Crime Watch section. For more on the stories highlighted in this episode, you can head to our website, fox7austin.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel.